Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by AbleAuctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help. And King of Floors, your vinyl, laminate, and engineered flooring superstore.
All our guests today are sponsored by Skipper Auto, supporting Canadian fishing families through a revolutionary seafood buying experience. Check them out online at skipperauto.com. We're in the Paul Carson studio. Donnie and Dolly, presented by King of Floors, your vinyl, laminated, and engineering flooring superstore, and Able Auctions. If you have assets, inventory, or equipment you need to sell, email sales at ableauctions.ca. As we bring in the first GM of the Vancouver Giants, going way back, now a hockey agent, Scott Bonner. Yes.
Do you remember, you and I had the radio show in 1999. This guy and Ron Toigo came into the studio at 10 p.m. that night.
Well, I remember a lot about Scott as we bring him in. Scott, how are you, sir? Long time no talk to.
Good. How about you guys?
Very well.
Good.
Very well. Okay, so Milan Lucic, who you had as a GM with the Giants, plays NHL game number 1,000. And yes, Scott, we're all feeling old when it comes to that stat. But let's go way back. Let's go in the time capsule and tell us about the first time you saw Milan Lucic and what you thought.
We played out of Delta. As you know, all the Giants sort of live and do everything in Delta. So there was a junior B team called the Delta Ice Hawks that played out of Ladner. So on Tuesday nights, you just go follow the minor hockey scene because Brent Seabrook had come through the Ice Hawks. Mitch Bartley had come. So you'd just go watch the odd game. And one lucky night, went out and watched, and they had a 16-year-old kid that, ended up in a fight and was really good at it, beat the snot out of some guy. So we had just thrown him on our list, because we had liked tough players. We had Tristan Grant and Matt Cassian at the time. And, we were always looking for heir apparent, strong, physical guys. And, it was more luck than anything, but he impressed us that night.
What else impressed you about him, about Milan? You can say what you want about the way his career's gone lately, but what else impressed you about him other than his toughness? Because you got to have more. You got to bring more to the game.
Yeah. So we listed him based on obviously the one incident, and then you start to follow them because you have a 50-man list. 25 of those guys is eaten up by your current roster. So then you start to follow your list players. So you start talking to his coaches, his former coaches. And, we listed him early that year. Literally, I believe within a month, Milan had left the Ice Hawks and gone to Coquitlam to play Junior A. And he just took off because as you started to watch him, he had real strong hockey IQ. Didn't make very many mistakes, trained hard. Then you start to track down. He has an uncle who had played in the NHL, Dan Kessa. Mm-hmm. So I have never seen to this point a guy that, got listed at 16 and just took off. And I think that, it'll be hard pressed to find someone with that type of success story in this era for sure.
Age might be the answer here, but what worked for Milan, Scott, in Boston that isn't there now in Calgary?
I think it was just the group. I think that whole team dynamic that they had there were coming up together. He was fearless. He's really close with Johnny Boychuk. He played with Krejci. Krejci's the right-handed shot center, constantly feeding Milan the puck. Milan, had zero fear at that time. And you're right. The biggest challenge is age with all the players. Yeah. And I think that the dynamic in Calgary was just as good as it got. I think he left Vancouver where he was a real integral part. Went into Calgary, had Thornton. I think Sean Thornton was a real mentor for him there.
In Boston.
And guys like Cam Neely were around that, he had a lot of people there that he could lean on that sort of guided him in the right direction. And I think those teams are rare when you find everything just sort of clicks.
Hey, Scott, you and I have had many talks about the Bantam draft and not going in the Bantam draft. It's still okay. Life's not over. Milan is just proving it. He didn't go in it. He was, a listed player. Do you still have to tell parents about that, Scott? Because now you're an agent. You were a GM in the Western Hockey League. Do you still talk to parents about, hey, it's okay. It's a long journey. It's not how you start, how you finish?
Yeah, there's sort of that obstacle course. One of our, best younger clients is a kid named Johnny Ledvig out of Kamloops. He didn't go in the Bantam draft. He's highly regarded by the Florida Panthers. Last year he was a first-team All-Star in the WHL. His dad had played in the NHL. So it's, you know, not everyone is ready at 13 or 14 to be identified as a future prospect or a future NHL player. So, you know, everyone grows or matures at different times. So our job basically as agents for the most part is just to guide people through the obstacle course.
I was going back to that Memorial Cup in Moncton, and Jordan Stahl just played his 1,000th game as well, and Milan just played his 1,000th game. Amazing what happens, stories that come out of the Memorial Cup. But Scott, when you look back at Milan's career, it is so nice to. It's not all based on skill and speed, but this was and you like aggressive players. You like big size teams in the Western Hockey League. You always did. But is it good to see a guy get there the way Milan did on toughness as well?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think we take a lot of pride in him. I know the Giants do, because he, you know, Milan and probably Brendan Gallagher and Lance Bowman would be three of their, you know, the alumni to give back the most. He's always in Vancouver. Anytime they ask for something, he does it. And, you know, I think it's that character that his parents instilled in him that has taken him a long way.
Scott, short notice. Thanks so much for this. Good luck with the agent business. You're with the Sports Corporation. We really appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Have a good day.
You bet.